Hello, hi guys. Myself, Lokesh Naidu, and my friend Sivaprasad. We both are going to explain to you some basic concepts in electronics. This presentation is very useful to strengthen your basics in electronics. So listen carefully. The topics we are going to explain to you are current and voltage, resistor, capacitor, inductors, diodes, transistors, ICs, circuit boards, measuring instruments, and at last microprocessor was microcontroller. In these topics, some topics will be explained by me and remaining will be by Shiv Prasad. Now let us discuss what is a circuit. Circuit is a closed loop that allows current flow. In every circuit, electron flow is opposite to current flow. Generally, an electron is flow from lower potential to higher potential because it is a negative charged particle, and the current flow is vice versa, like higher potential to lower potential. In a circuit, there are two types of components like active and passive components. Active, which are give energy like batteries or voltage sources. Passive components like resistor, capacitors, and inductors. These are consume energy. So let us recollect what we know about the current and the voltage. Current is the rate of flow of electric charges or ions, and we know that voltage is the potential difference between 2 points. Let us understand the relation between the current and voltage by a waterfall. Now let us consider the water flow as the current flow and the water particles as the charged particles or ions, and the height difference between the top and the bottom as the potential difference. Consider the bottom as the zero voltage and the top as the high voltage. Now just calculate the impact at the bottom. Impact at the bottom can be increased by increasing the flow of the water, also called as current, right? So and the impact at the bottom can also be increased by increasing the height of the waterfall. It is also called potential difference. So here we can say that the potential difference there is directly proportional to the current. It is also called as Ohm's law. Ohm's law can easily memorized by the simply by a triangular method. Consider the horizontal line as division and vertical line as multiplication. So V is equal to I into R, and R is equal to V divided by R, and I is equal to V by R. This is called Ohm's law. Here R is known as resistance. Now let us discuss about resistors. Resistor is a two-terminal passive electrical component. It implements electrical resistance to the current flow. Here it is a funny diagram showing that the voltage is trying very hard to push the current down, but the resistance is trying to stop him. That is the work of a resistor. Next topic is types of resistors. There are 5 types of resistors like fixed resistor, variable resistor, thermistor, and varistor. Varistor are voltage dependent resistor, and right dependent resistor are simply called LDR. First one, fixed resistors are used in electronic circuits to set the right conditions in a circuit. And variable resistor. Variable resistors are used to control voltage or current by changing its resistance value. And thermistor. Thermistor are used in digital thermometers. And varistor. Varistors are used to protect the devices. Like they send the current created by the excessive voltage away from the sensitive components when triggered. Light dependent resistors. LDR or LDR. LDRs has a property like it increases its resistance in in dark room, or it decreases its resistance when it is lighting sunny. So using this property it used to detect the presence of light or in burglar alarms. Next, applications of resistors in our daily life. As I explained already, the different types of resistors and their applications, and these are also some applications of resistors, like they are used in our laptop chargers and mobile phone chargers and lamps and street lighting and fan speed controlling, etc. They are widely used in our daily life. Now let us discuss about color coding in resistors. For every fixed resistor, there is a fixed resistance value. To unite this resistance value, we use color coding. There are 4, 5, 6 band color code resistors are there. For each color, we denote a specific digit value. For black it is 0, for brown it is 1, for red it is 2, to white it is 9. To memorize these colors in sequential manner, we use a sentence like Baby Roy, Great Britain, very good wife. By memorizing this sentence, we put values from 0 to 9 in sequential manner. So this like we can memorize this color. Now let us see one example of a 4-band color code. What is the resistance value of this resistor? There are 4 colors on this resistor. First color is brown, it indicates the value 1, and second color is red, it indicates value 2. So 12, 1, 2. And third color is a green, it denotes value 5, but it indicates multiplier. So check for the multiplier value of the green. It is 10 power 5. Similarly, for black it is 10 power 0, for brown it is 10 power 1, for red it is 10 square. Up to blue it is 10 power 6. And next it looks like it is a gold color. Gold color denotes for a tolerance value. For gold it is plus or minus 5%, and silver it is plus or minus 10%. So overall the resistance value of the 4-band color code of this resistor is 12 into 10 power 5 plus or minus 5%. For a 6-band color code resistor, the last color denotes for a temperature coefficient of a resistor. So for each color there are different values for temperature coefficients. Next topic, capacitors. Yeah, capacitor is a passive two-terminal electrical component. It stores energy electrostatically in an electric field form. Generally it is two types. One is ceramic and electrolytic capacitors. Here there are two conductive plates, and between them there is a dielectric medium. This is the symbol of capacitor. Next, let's see the applications of the capacitors. Applications like they are used as energy storage component and used in filters and tuning circuits and in sensors, and it is used as a timing element, and it is used in decoupling, and it is used to implement the power factor in clipping circuits, and it is used in noise filters also. Next is about memory. Like resistors, capacitors also having coding for its capacitance. Let us consider this ceramic capacitor. First digit is 6 and second digit is 8 and third digit is 3. It is a multiplier, so the value is 68 into 10 to the power of 3, and the last letter is J, indicates the tolerance value. From this table, the tolerance value of J is plus or minus 5%. From A to Z, the tolerance values are given here. Therefore, the capacitance of this capacitor is 68 into 10 to the power of 3 plus or minus 5%. For electrolytic capacitors, the capacitance values are written on them, so there is no worry about coding, and that's all. Next topic is about inductors. Inductor is also a passive two-terminal component. Generally, it resists changes in electric field. As we know that capacitor stores energy in the form of electric field, but inductor stores energy in the form of magnetic field. And it is also called as coil, choke or reactor. General applications of inductors are, they are widely used in DC coupling and in transformers and in electromagnets and in filters. And it is used as an energy storing device like capacitor. Generally, these two, capacitor and inductors, acts as voltage or current source when the actual voltage source is switched off, because these two dissipates current or voltage in exponentially with time being, which is already stored by them. Due to this property, they are widely used in different electronic components. Next topic is diodes, which will be explained by Shiv Prasad.
What is a diode? Let's think about a one-way road in which we can only move in forward direction and we can go back. In diodes, electron can only flow in one direction and opposite direction electron flow is prevented. This is the symbol of the diode, and this part is known as anode and this part is known as cathode. Most widely used diodes are p-n junction diodes. First diodes were vacuum tubes. The earlier computers were made of vacuum tubes. Look at the ENIAC. It is the first electronic computer. It is huge in size and consumed a lot of power. The studies in the semiconductor devices revolutionized the industry, and now we are using p-n junction diodes. Before talking about p-n junction, we have to discuss about semiconductors. There are two types of the semiconductors: intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. Silicon, germanium like pure semiconductors are known as intrinsic semiconductor, and if you are adding the impurity for vary the conductivity of the semiconductor, then it is known as extrinsic semiconductor. Again, it is divided into two types: p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. If you are adding trivalent impurities such as aluminum, gallium, then the holes are the majority carriers. It is known as p-type semiconductor. If you are adding the pentavalent impurities such as phosphorus, arsenic, then the electrons are the majority carriers. It is known as n-type semiconductor. What is a p-n junction? When p and n-type semiconductors comes into contact, electrons will diffuse from the n to p region and holes will diffuse from p to n region. There is a neutral region forms which is known as depletion layer, and there is a potential difference from the n to p region. It is known as barrier potential. We know that there is a barrier potential existing from the n to p region. It prevents the further flow of the electrons and holes. There are two types of the biasing: forward biasing and reverse biasing. In forward biasing, we are connecting negative terminal of the battery towards the N region and the positive terminal of the battery towards the P region. Here what we are doing is we are supplying an external electric field which is opposing the existing barrier potential. Here the depletion region width is minimum and the electrons and hole diffusion can be seen, so there is a current flow in forward bias. In reverse bias, we are just reversing the connection. That is, we are connecting the positive terminal of the battery towards the N region and the negative terminal of the battery towards the P region. Here actually we are supporting the existing barrier potential, so that a depletion region width is increasing. There is no diffusion of the holes and electrons, so there is no current in reverse bias. IV characteristics of a p-n junction diode. We already know that there is a flow of current in forward bias and there is no current flowing in reverse bias. Here we can see a small amount of current is flowing. It is due to the drift of the minority carriers, and this particular voltage there is a large amount of the current is flowing. Due to the breakdown of the diode is known as reverse breakdown voltage. Zener diodes, Schottky diodes, tunnel diodes, LEDs are just an example of different types of the diodes. When we talk about p-n junction, first one comes into our mind is LEDs. LEDs are light emitting diodes. Gallium arsenide like direct bandgap semiconductors are used for making LEDs. What is the working principle behind it? In semiconductor, the electron is always at a higher energy level than hole. In direct bandgap semiconductor, when electron and hole recombination happens, large amount of the energy is emitted in the form of light. That is the working principle behind LED. Second one is photodiode. Here also working principle is very simple. When the light falls into the p-n junction, electron and hole pair is generated. It is present across the electric field, so that drift happens, so that an electric signal is produced corresponding to the light signal. Next one is Zener diode, and Zener diode working on a principle of Zener breakdown. In Zener diode, p and n regions are heavily doped so that the p-n junction formed is very narrow. So, electric field present across it is high enough to plug the electron from the semiconductor atom. In Zener breakdown voltage, any amount of the current can flow, so that Zener diode acts as a voltage regulator. In lightning or something happens, any amount of the current can flow through the Zener diode without varying voltage across it, so that our device is connected parallel to it and our device is protected. Next one is tunnel diode. In tunnel diode, p and n regions are heavily doped than Zener diode, so that the p-n junction formed is very narrow. Electron can easily tunnel from the n to p region. What is a Schottky diode? Schottky diode actually a metal semiconductor junction diode. If the semiconductor is n-type, then the electron affinity of the semiconductor should be greater than work function of the metal. It behaves like the p-n junction diode with a smaller value of the Ni and breakdown voltage. And the last one is varactor diode. It is also known as varicap. There is a barrier potential and the depletion region act as a dielectric medium, so that we have a capacitor. By varying the reverse bias voltage, we can vary the depletion region width. We know that the capacitance is equal to A epsilon 0 by D. By varying the D, we can vary the capacitance, so that we have a variable capacitor. There are a lot of applications for diodes. For example, light emitting diodes, photodiodes in photosensors, in solar cells, in rectifiers. Even we can produce laser using diodes. Zener diodes used as a voltage regulator, and we can use tunnel diodes in oscillator circuits. In tuning circuits, we can use varicap, and in clipper and clamper circuits, etc. Hope you guys understood about resistors, capacitors, inductors, and diodes. We have some important stuffs like transistors, ICs, microcontrollers, etc. to discuss. We will see in next video.